for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegraaff, Jimmy Odd. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Andy Iskoe with us on Tuesdays. And, of course, we do first class, second class, no class on Tuesdays. The Grinch is here, ready for
Well, being the gentleman that he is, he let all the ladies in first.
That's
so
nice
that
of
was
him.
always nice. Yes.
We appreciate that. Glad
Santa
that you're
Claus
with us.
himself is there. Santa Claus, bigger brother, sewer rat. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We got a sunshine and cold temperatures here in Baton Rouge
Warming.
this morning.
Warming,
Yes, it is.
no.
It's warmed up since early this morning for sure.
This is a big improvement. Yeah.
We're getting closer to the holiday. LSU ladies playing their annual field trip game this morning against Morgan State. And over 9,000 students from the Baton Rouge area. They're going to go take in the game this morning.
9,000.
That's what they expect. 9,000 students is what they are preparing for in the building. LSU's a considerable favorite, I would say, in the game.
75 points?
It got up to 75. It's back down to 73.5 here at tip-off. I suspect that the fifth-ranked Tigers will win handily.
Well,
I think
field
Morgan
trip.
State brought 8 players, but
I know she commented about her scheduling, her non-conference schedule. I mean, the conference makes the schedule, the conference schedule out for you. And usually the stronger programs, they schedule tough in non-conference, and in men's and women's too, because it's not football. It's not a wear and tear of you're not going to get beat up most games. If you're going to have an injury, you're going to have an injury against Morgan State or or South Carolina. I mean, it's just kind of a, but it's she had a reason. I didn't catch exactly why. It says like it's kind of worked out for them, but just a little. It's different for an established, stronger program.
I've heard her talk about it since she got here, which was roughly it was year 2 of the the new rules, and I'm gonna paraphrase here what I've heard her say over and over again. I'm starting with more new players every year than I ever had when I was at Baylor because the whole landscape has changed, and I would prefer to know what I have before I go play UConn and Texas and et cetera. My deal with her is kind of the same thing as Jay Johnson. You got all those rings, schedule who you want. You know better. They played a game at Duke. Duke was a preseason top 10 team, a top 12 team. They have played I think the toughest or one of the top 2 or 3 toughest schedules in women's basketball so far this year. So they have a losing record. They fell behind in that game, 13 points, ended up winning it by 93-77. And then they played Washington State, who, whatever you think of Washington State, they beat them by 70. My deal is schedule who you want. You know how to put together a team. She's in the second to third weekend of the NCAA tournament. She's got 4 rings. If it were a lesser coach, I'd question it. For her, schedule who you feel like it. It's kind of how I feel like Jay Johnson too.
It's only to develop your team. It's just different because when your roster really isn't being challenged, then she's more of identifying roles and identifying talents even against lesser competition. Sometimes though that could be misleading because I mean, a player might be able to get away with things against weaker competition. It's just not going to. And this program is going to be evaluated by when they get into deep competition, including the tournament. But if this is helped her develop and identify the roles, and she knows, yes, she has earned that pass. It's just different.
And she knows what she's got coming up when they start conference play. 4 of their first 5 games in the league are against teams that are ranked currently in the top 13. They play Kentucky and Vanderbilt, who are 12 and 13. They play Texas and Oklahoma, who are 2 and 8.
That's you don't know that once you schedule put their non-conference
No, but
schedule.
you know the SEC is going to be tough.
Oh no, of course, but sometimes you can hit a wall for a little bit
Right.
because you haven't played that level of competition, and they may have for the first 13 points of the game against Duke.
Yeah, and got themselves acclimated and
Well,
flew away
that's
from there.
nice to have it acclimated within the game. Sometimes
Yes.
it'll take you several games instead of a couple of segments in the game. So I don't know. It's just it's it's what we have. College basketball, men or women, really doesn't lack the quality non-conference matchups, and now
No.
more than ever because these neutral site tournament um, sponsors, and whether they're paying you money to help your your player budget, or flat out give it a monetary in which you win. And so like the new era tournament in Las Vegas. So you see more and more that trend is going to continue.
That tournament is already a monster, and I think
Oh,
it's
they're
just going to
supposed to
get
like
bigger.
double it
Yeah, it's
next
just
year
going
or
to get
something
bigger.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be. It will be the defining event pre-conference from here moving forward. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Maui Classic suffered this year,
Right.
and only figures to suffer even more. And that was the premier tournament.
Yes, it was. You watch the Steelers and Dolphins last night,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Final score was not indicative of how bad they got beat.
Yep.
I tried to make it more complicated than it was, and said that I thought the Dolphins would be a little bit more prepared for the chilly temperatures because they had gotten this run, this 4-game winning streak, on the legs of Devon Eshan.
Yeah.
And he had averaged 120 yards a game, even when he was pulled out early against the Jets when they built such a sizable lead, 4 touchdowns as well, and taking the pressure off of the defense and off of Tua. And they start out with a 3-0 lead. The kicker missed the landing spot, gave the ball at 40, and that was it. Touchdown, 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 touchdown. The end of the first half and early in the third quarter. Next thing you know, they're down 28-3.
4 consecutive touchdown drives, which hadn't been done, I think, in 4 years for the Steelers. And Aaron Rodgers just dink, 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 dink. I mean,
Well, that's what he has.
right, and that's what he does. I mean, the one play a little bit down the field to Metcalf, but everything else with those two, great big tight ends were in it. Gainwell, who was a nice back in Philadelphia, kind of a nice backup back to
Looks
Saquon
very
Barkley.
comfortable in Nicole.
Yes, very much so. They got him the ball a lot. They had a 1-2 punch there. Rodgers really wasn't pressured a ton. They got him on a couple of times on some third down sacks where there just wasn't anybody open. And I thought Miami tackled pretty well for the first quarter and a half of the game, and then when they got into those 4 touchdown drives, it's like, where's the team I saw tackling at the beginning of the game?
They're on the field too long.
Yes, that's what I thought too. And Aaron Rodgers,
And they sustain jobs. They sustain drives with their tush push, but it's a 10-player tush push.
Did you see him with his hands in his pockets?
How could you miss him?
Out behind the yeah.
I mean,
They
it's 10 players. He is just
Yeah.
sitting back, staying warm, and he ain't getting close to being involved. He's not even a secondary push. No, he's just. Which you wonder why he's even on the field.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about that. What are the chances, okay, that somewhere in an important spot that they line up in what looks like that, and then they get the defense where they want them, and then they break out of the formation?
Very, very slim.
Okay, and Rodgers is back there where he
slim.
can take 2 steps forward and be in the shotgun.
Charlie,
the element of surprise.
Because they got the 315-pound tight end from Georgia, and he's the guy pushing. We talked about how the tight ends are the most suited to kind of be in that, have the size, strength, and the sort of agility to kind of push, the quarterback or whatever player's taking a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
And so he's tailor-made for it. So they're good at it, and they're going to get that half a yard, that yard. They're going to get it. And they got stopped one on the long one. They got half of it, and the next time they got it easily. So they went back and forth on 3rd and 4th down. But it's sustained drives. It kept them, because early in the game, they were 4th and 1, and they punted. I mean, it was cold. And the one thing that the cold weather did affect some games this weekend. We think it's more of the wind and other stuff, but the cold did. But it took teams a little bit, almost a half to kind of get a little bit acclimated to it. but they were fine just punting early because the yards were hard. Yards were hard, and both defenses were very tough early on.
And here we are in the AFC, a week before Christmas. Kansas City Chiefs will not make the playoffs. Cincinnati Bengals will not make the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens do not lead their divisions, and they're the Steelers in first place again. I mean, a one-game lead. They don't have anything clinched yet, but
Well,
there they are again.
yeah, and one win away in 3 tries to secure another winning season. It's one of the, all those winning seasons, all those playoff berths, but a playoff drought now as well. It's one of the more interesting evaluations of a roster, but where, I don't know, what is it? The fail rate when you hire an NFL coach is what, 80% maybe?
It's high.
It's high. And for this guy to last, his tenure has outlasted a lot of. How many coaching hires have been made since they hired Mike Tomlin?
Oh gosh,
Probably 100 something, huh?
Yeah, he was hired the year after Peyton was.
Get about
which
7
was
a year,
2006.
7 a year,
Yeah,
7, 8.
I would say average 6 or 7.
Okay, so 20 years. Do the math, Charlie. 140, something in that range. Just a ballpark figure. It's a lot. And so he's on his way to the Hall of Fame.
And should be.
This league, I'm an anti-compiler. In this league, when you compile winning seasons every year, come on. They talked about Pete Carroll when he was with the Patriots and the Jets in a brief stint. Man, he was no, he wasn't. He actually got him to a playoff game one year. He had right at a 500 record, which is better than most new hires. Just Mike Tomlin is at his place, but I don't know, man. It's just it's a tough run right now, and it might just be a time for a new voice. Be careful what you ask for. Okay, they could go down, and I love the Mike Tomlin in my locker room. I'm not crazy about his game management.
If the playoffs started today, the Steelers would host the Chargers. What would that line be?
Steelers would host the Chargers.
Yeah.
Man, the Chargers. Los Angeles is so banged up right now. It would be Pittsburgh under a field goal.
Okay.
Basically a pick 'em.
Tied with the Chargers, but losing the conference record tiebreaker is the Buffalo Bills, who are right now the 6th seed. If Buffalo went to Pittsburgh, what would the line be?
Buffalo would definitely be favored.
That's
more than a field goal.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Which does not mean the Steelers can't win, of course. But
no. Well, they just played too, and they were sluggish, but they took a lead into the locker room, and then Rodgers gets hit, he fumbles, scoop and score, and Allen turned it up in the second half, and they kind of. Okay, y'all not ready to play for us. At their place, when Steelers playing hard as usual, home field, it's in the mud. Steelers got the lead at the break, and nope, and they weren't competitive in the second half. After the big play, the defensive score.
They go to the Lions on the short week, and then they're at Cleveland. I don't know that they win in Detroit, probably not, but I think they beat the Browns, and that sets up the game with the Ravens at the end if the Ravens are still in it. So
yeah, they get the Ravens at home. Ravens will be favored in that game. They will be favored at Pittsburgh, that last game.
Pittsburgh,
yeah.
and Pittsburgh could have it clinched by then.
That's the thing. Yeah, they hope to have it where they can rest some guys on that week. And because, Baltimore, they certainly avenged the loss on the road this past weekend, convincingly. And, they're not hitting on, especially Jackson, but they still went in there and beat a team by 24. Burrow's first shutout ever. Look, Cole was a factor. There's no doubt. Jamar Chase is dropping balls. When do we see that? So, but Baltimore will be not a touchdown favorite, but I'll probably be over a field goal favorite in that game at Pittsburgh.
We're here at Mike Anderson's, Wesley at Nicholson. Christmas gift cards?
Christmas gift cards, yes, are available. Also, our holiday hours. Now, Christmas Eve, we're open for lunch only. So from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Some people like to get here early and hang out outside, like sewer rat, bang on the door. But no, 11 means 11. We open the door right at 11. So it is in sync with your cell phones and everything else. But, if you want to beat, 14, 15 elderly women to be first into the door. They just follow sewer rat in here. Nice lead block. Anyway, we're going to close for Christmas Day. Then New Year's Eve, same thing. Open for lunch only. And then New Year's Day, we are open. Normal weekday times, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch and 5 to 9 for dinner. So just wanted to get everybody our holiday hours. But yes, give the gift of char-grilled oysters. Give the gift of the seafood gumbo or the fried or marinated crab claws. Give the gift of Mike Anderson's, man. When people come in from out of town, this is a lock. We come here and we show them. They get a little bit of everything. How about that little, like the Bayou plate, the Cajun plate that they do for lunch? It's a little bit of fried shrimp, a little bit of fried catfish, a little bit of crawfish etouffee, a little bit of seafood gumbo, a hush puppy, some really good stuff. So you got friends coming in from out of town to visit this holiday season. A lock is to take them over here to Anderson's.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New Hannycast, parts 1 and 2 are up now of our film study of the Lane Kiffin offense. Richard Dixon did a great job at showing you how Lane Kiffin takes advantage of matchups, how his sequencing works in film taken from Ole Miss from the last 2 years. I think you'll enjoy it if you're interested in exactly how Lane Kiffin has had so much success on offense. That's available at YouTube right now. It's all brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Saints win on Sunday, Jimmy. I know you guys talked about it yesterday. I got a chance to listen to a good bit of the show yesterday. Not only the Saints have a couple of wins here, 3 since Tyler Shough has become the starting quarterback, but you got a chance in all 3 of these games to win at the end. You're favored against the Jets, and you go on the road for the Titans and Falcons. None of those games are unwinnable.
I'd like to see him against a little bit tougher competition. Be honest with you, 'cause he's shown that he can be competitive.
Last week on the road against the Bucks, better than the Jets and Titans.
Yeah, did it with his feet that game.
Yeah, he did.
That's not something you want to make a habit of. Conditions were different, but in a tight game, I thought Max brought up the best part of the key third and longs. We're talking about 3rd and 8, 9, 10s, those type of plays to sustain drives into, to kind of almost put the game away. And so he had to make plays. They're down double digits in the second half. He had to engineer a fourth quarter touchdown drive and a fourth quarter game-winning field goal attempt drive. And that's so I've seen that. I'm not saying that he's going to get that done every time, but he was able to do it with the game on the line against a team that is playing for something. We know that although Carolina has improved greatly, it's not because of their defense. They're one of the bottom 5 defenses in the league coming in, and they proved that they're kind of still at that spot. And the Saints defense has been really good in this little run the last 5 games. So continue to be a top 5 defense over that stretch, even though they gave the long, sustained touchdown drive early to Bryce Young and the Carolina offense. I'd like to – the obvious, he has given himself a cushion. It would take a real drop-off in play, in level of play by him, to not be the quarterback moving forward for next year, including drafting – the draft strategy.
Yeah.
He has built a cushion there.
I'm ready to call him your QB1 for 2026 and at this point for a couple reasons. Number one, his play, obviously. The second one is when we went into this season, you said, what are you hoping for? What are you hoping for? I said, well, best case scenario is Shough looks like your starting quarterback moving forward, and you get a high enough draft pick where you can take a difference maker at another position. I think you're kind of there. The number 1 pick in the draft is likely to be Fernando Mendoza. And after that, unless something happens and Ty Simpson or Dante Moore declare for the draft, and neither one of them I think will, you're probably not going to have another quarterback go in the first round. All of those guys that were at the top of the draft list going into the season, the potential first-round picks like Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik and Drew Aller, none of those guys set themselves up to be first-round picks with the seasons they've had because of injuries and other things. So if you don't have the number 1 pick, and they're not going to have the number 1 pick, then you got your quarterback, then I think you're kind of set up to move forward here, and you can take the best player available with whatever. Right now they'd be the number 7 pick in the draft. I think it'll probably end up somewhere between 7 and 10 or 11, whatever. So that's good. You've had some other young players that have started to step up. We bash Mickey Loomis at every turn, and he's deserved almost all of it. But if you got your quarterback in the second round, that's a big deal. You've moved some players for a little bit of additional draft capital. That's good. I wasn't wild about the Devon Valet trade when they made it, but he's starting to show some signs of being the big receiver that they wanted. Chris Olave has played in every game this year, so you've got a true evaluation if you want to make that contract. You want to extend him off of his rookie deal. You have to make that decision next spring. You've got a promising young running back in Devin Neal, who I don't think is going to be an all-pro or anything like that, but is a nice back. So you've answered some questions. The Chase Young signing, okay, is starting to look better and better. He missed the first, 5 weeks of the season, and you're like, wait, was this a mistake? But since he's been playing very good. You're a year closer to getting off of some of these other contracts. You'll make some adjustments there in the offseason. I feel better about the Saints now than I have in quite some time. Doesn't mean everything's fixed. Doesn't mean they're going to the playoffs next year. But I like where they are.
Hard to be worse or go in a worse direction than what they started.
Yes.
Okay. By first 4 or 5 games, they may have been considered to be the weakest team in the league. By performance on Sunday, and with no matter how you got there, no matter your salary cap situation and everything else. But the thing we have to stay consistent, and years, and Delicano and I have stayed true on this, and that I don't care what level you are, how is your team improving over the course of your first season as a coach? How is your young talent improving? And they were a seller. And so they should be weakened after that as well. And they're playing their best ball. And your young prospect at quarterback, Kellen Moore, that's supposed to be his specialty, developing quarterbacks and offensive side of the ball. He looks comfortable in so far. He got a long way to get to that 25 start. But he's moving along better than I thought. And at least the most positive people, the most optimistic people about him moving forward have to be pleased. So, again, I'd like to see him against one of really a tougher team. I get that. But this is what they have on their schedule.
And I'm okay with him.
The Jets just fired defensive coach.
Yeah, I'm okay with him building confidence in these last 3 games. I don't need to see him against, the Broncos at this Texans defense at this point. Let him build up a little bit. These games don't mean anything in the standings anyway. So let him build a little bit here.
I don't think they'd have very little success against those teams. One team.
But those are the 2 best defenses in the league.
One league, yeah. Denver was for a while. Houston is now, but Denver still has 10 more sacks than everybody else. And that might not be. But somebody
in the middle
between there, Charlie.
Yeah,
There's a lot of teams in between the Jets and the Texans and Broncos defensively.
Probably about 28.
Yeah.
So encouraged also that the offensive line has allowed a lot of sacks. The running game has been not great, and there's still some success there. So a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here for the New Orleans Saints.
Well, Charlie, Jeff Duncan pointed this out. Shuck has now got as many victories against teams with winning records as Derek Carr did in his entire tenure in New Orleans.
Well, the Carr bashing just never stops.
At the time they played him, huh?
Correct.
Yeah.
Also, his Rookie of the Year odds went from
250
to
1.
No, he's got a little juice.
250 to 1 down to 25 to 1.
He's probably not going to win it. Travion Henderson, I think, is the favorite
current
right
favorite,
now.
but he kind of came out of nowhere last week.
Yeah.
And so you can make big waves late in that award.
If he finishes in the top 5.
He's been doing it for a little bit, Max. I mean, I know he had the big run against Buffalo.
Just in terms of the odds.
He's been putting these 75. He had a late start. So,
Yes.
I mean.
Ramondre Stevenson was their lead back for probably the first 6 or 7 games
Right.
of
Well,
the season.
he is their guy, and he's busting like a 75-yarder every week.
If
now.
Shook finishes in the top 5 in the Rookie of the Year voting, this is a huge win. Okay, if you'd have told me in August, hey, Shook's going to finish in the top 5 in the Rookie of the Year, sign me up.
With their
I'm in.
With their closing schedule, he's got a good opportunity.
I mean, I don't think he's going to win it, but if top 5 is fine.
Why is he passed up Dart is because Dart's only got 2 wins, 2 starts, 2 wins. Against the Eagles, in his first one against the Chargers. And Shuck with fewer starts has more wins. And so how much is the schedule? How much is the supporting cast? How they've been? Both are missing pieces. There's no doubt. But he is yes, if he's going to finish top 5, top 10, you've got less invested than a guy like Jackson Dart. But I was wondering about Dart's his odds because they're just going to have a hard time winning games moving forward with all the injuries that they have. All that they have invested on defense, they're just not that good on that side. Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive on Siegen Lane. Siegen across Siegen Lane from Ambrosia Bakery, 8445 Siegen, just off of Perkins. It's the only place I take my vehicle. Jason Payne is open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and he's got a great business that he has going on because so many people gives people an honest deal. Doesn't upcharge you for unnecessary work. Going to try to find a repair option before a more costly replace option. So, EJ, so it didn't like his oil change. They didn't reset the oil change. Just wanted to make sure. Had to get the tire rotation. Went in. They were busy. Said, come back this time. We'll be able to get you in much more conveniently. He did. He's in and out within 20, 30 minutes, and he's on his way. So that check engine light comes on. You're not a trained mechanic like they have over at K&M. Bring it in. We'll find out exactly which run for and handle it for you. Tell them that you heard it right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. K&M Automotive, 8445 Siegen Lane, just off of Perkins, across Siegen from Ambrosia Bakery.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Brandon Holly here. Did you know Relief Windows is the window, door, hardy plank, and vinyl siding and interior shutter headquarters of the Gulf South? That's right. For nearly 20 years, we have provided you with a lifetime guarantee. Relief from the heat, cold, storms, and sun. So go where thousands have gone to upgrade the exterior and the interior of their homes. ReliefWindows.com. That's ReliefWindows.com.
Let Sammy's Grill do the cooking for your holiday feast. Fried or rotisserie turkeys with all the traditional sides. Pepperjack, crawfish, cornbread dressing, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, boudin rice dressing, mac and cheese, and more. And for dessert, white chocolate bread pudding or pecan pie. Order a la carte or bundle up with our turkey feast that feeds 8 to 10 people. Call or stop by either the Highland Road or Prairieville locations to place your order today. Orders must be made 48 hours prior to pickup. Let Sammy's Grill do all the cooking for you this holiday season.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Live at lunch with Ott and Annie from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Iskoe.
Andy, how you doing, buddy?
Jimmy, I'm doing fine as we're getting ready for the start of the college football playoffs and, of course, the final 3 weeks of the NFL season. And it's still hard to believe that there's like almost a quarter of the league with 3 wins or less. I think it's 6 or 7 teams. It's been a year of the very good and the horrible teams. And the 2 teams that I actually still have rated number 1 and 2, Rams and Seattle, and they're very, very close. And if you take a look at the quality of opposition that the Rams have beaten this year, their 11 wins have come against teams that are winning like 55% of their games against everyone other than the Rams. Everyone other than the Rams against the rest of the league. That's how good the Rams have been this year.
It can be tricky on trying to determine the strength of schedules before the season, but some of the NFC West, and I know that San Francisco was considered to be the easiest, and they've got quite a record for they've had key injuries. They've been okay. Purdy missed some time. Now the Mac Jones gave them quality backup quarterback time when he was there. There's no doubt about that. He played at a higher level than most backups would. But yeah, I mean, being the bully is part of it. It's something that we don't talk about as much because there aren't any rental wins in the NFL. But man, some of the teams this year.
Oh yeah, and when I do strength of schedule every week as I'm doing my analysis. And obviously, I base strength of schedule based upon what the teams are doing this year, not what they were expected to do with their season loss totals, which is, what you should do before the season starts. A lot of people in the NFL strength of schedule at the end of the year shows what they did based upon for the coming year. It's based upon what their records were for the previous year. When I do my analysis in the summer for strength of schedule, I look at the season over/under win-losses because that's a better indication of how strong the lines makers expect these teams to be. And then as the season goes on, I use what their actual win-loss record is. So just a little follow-up on that to put the numbers in context. The 11 wins that the Rams have come against teams 79 and 64 against everybody else.
And that's why New England's game against Buffalo was sort of a prove it. They built a 21-0 lead. They lost and looked like once it started going bad, they just didn't have any answers. Is this a candidate for maybe, kind of what we talked about it a lot this year? And then on the other hand, Denver won their game against a playoff-bound Green Bay Packers at home.
Yeah, and you wonder if Indianapolis has already shown signs of that, although the injury to Daniel Jones clearly changes the entire complexion of the team, but they had started to struggle before he got injured, and now with New England's getting into the tough part of its schedule, we'll see how they fare. The other team that I was concerned about, and it actually goes back to the Survivor contest, the Chargers. If you took a look at their schedule as you were preparing how to play Survivor throughout the season, you could not really, based upon what we thought and what's turned out, you really would not be able to play the Chargers after, I think it was the first 13 weeks of the season, because their last 5 games, 14 through 18, are against playoff caliber, playoff bound teams. And so I want to see how they fare. The Chargers have actually been an interesting team because kind of like Baltimore, but unlike Baltimore, they've had injuries consistently all year, and Buffalo, I guess, to a certain extent as well. And the Chargers have been able to overcome those injuries, especially those offensive line injuries that started really back around week 2 or week 3. For them to be 10-4 right now, and I think they are the number one or number two wild card right now. This team, and we said this when Harbaugh signed as coach last year, that he was able to turn teams around. Remember, with the 49ers, he got them to the Super Bowl in his second season. He has the possibility of doing that right here with the Charger team, especially with Kansas City no longer a factor. We don't know if Baltimore is going to make it. Buffalo's almost certain to make it the way that they are right now. They're a game behind New England, but more importantly, they're 10-4 already.
We think the Rams and San Francisco are a little bit more established, but we got about 6, 7, Charlie, upstart 10-win teams in the NFL that you have to bring up the conversation, fraud or not. Seattle with 11 wins, Chicago with 10 wins. You go on with Denver and the Chargers out the AFC West. Jacksonville has 10 wins. The Patriots have 10 wins. Buffalo's established. We know that. But, I mean, of all those teams, fraud or not.
Who's got the best defense out of everybody you just named? I would say right this second, probably Seattle. Out of those teams that you just named.
I like Denver better.
Okay.
Defensively. Yeah.
By the way, Houston will be in the conversation next week. They are 9-5.
They're 9-5 right now, but I had to cut it off somewhere. So,
So Seattle and Denver's defense pretty close?
Yeah, our teams that have not yet won 10 games, Houston, I think, ranks up there with a chance as well, especially with their offense coming around nicely.
Who was that, Andy?
Houston.
I think Houston's a legitimate, not just to win a game or two. I mean, a Super Bowl possibility. That defense is traveling, and Stroud is getting back. Nico Collins showing you some signs that he's getting in rhythm a little bit. They could have, if they were a little bit healthier, and this goes back to before the season even started with a guy like Tank Dell. But I mean, they're no fraud to me.
And they played 4 playoff games the last 2 years. Let's not discount that playoff experience.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
One of the things I was looking at, and we talked about it on Sunday with Green Bay and Denver, and people, and I talked to some pretty sharp people who still are not all that enamored of the Denver Broncos, and they were looking at Green Bay and saying, look how well Green Bay has played over the last 4 weeks. Yes, but if you look at the year-to-date totals, I think this would surprise people. When you look at scoring differential, not that it's a big indicator, but at least gives some idea, Green Bay has scored 75 more points than they had allowed up until last week. Denver was right there at 73. So based upon what they've been able to produce, those teams were a lot closer than the fact that just Green Bay had been able to win 4 games in a row. The fact that Denver's won a lot of close games, I think, is a positive because they have the confidence and they know they can win the close games. Green Bay, they're still a very good team, and they're going to be effective. I'm really looking forward. By the way, that's another team that may get their chance to win because they have that tie in there. They're 9-4-1. That should be a great game against Chicago this week, and I think the winner of this game goes on to win the division.
And Sean Payton, it gives you just such an edge on the sideline. We're talking about a guy who's been to 3 conference championship games, has won a Super Bowl, 18 playoff games in his career. He's not foreign to games of that magnitude.
He has shifted, his aggression on the play calling from over the course of the season and course of games. And he kind of shifted in a little confidence level in Knicks, and he performed and was getting it out quick, and had 4 touchdowns and no interceptions on Sunday. But we've seen this thing where he has flat out shut him down at some games this year.
Well, they have been able to run the football and take time off the clock, and they don't look for the big 70-yard bomb play. They'll be able to take their chunks of yardage with runs or passes that gain 8 to 10 yards and just methodically move down the field and take 7, 8 minutes to end the drive.
Andy, have you done any research or any angles for the bowls coming up? It's a little bit tough to try and figure out some of the opt-outs. We've done our fair share over the weeks. We'll get share one. We got a bowl game tonight as well, but or for the college football playoff, they gave a strong opinion on these 4 matchups.
Well, the first one, I do like one of the games this week before the college football playoffs, and I do like South Florida. I know the coach is heading over to Auburn, and he won't be coaching this game, but South Florida has really been dominant this year as far as the way that they've played a lot of their games, and they've looked good. Of course, they had a nice start to the season, and I think that they're going to have a pretty good, successful effort tomorrow. I think they're laying right now. I think I saw the line is still around
right around 3.
Still around. Yeah, against Old Dominion. They've had a nice season, but Old Dominion did not play well in a lot of their conference games. I think South Florida won a lot of their games by huge margins, and I think their only 2 losses were, well, I don't remember one of them. One of them was, I think, not all that good, but maybe I'm confusing with a different game. But I do like South Florida tomorrow. As far as the college football playoffs, can Alabama beat Oklahoma? This is not Nick Saban's Alabama. Oklahoma has shown that the 2 years that they've been able to play the game close, their defense has taken charge, and Alabama's inability to run the football has hurt them basically all season. And I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma pulls it off a third time. I know there's revenge and everything, but this is a different team with Kalen DeBoer than it was with Nick Saban. I don't think Nick Saban ever had a running game that was as bad as the one that we've seen out of the Tide this year. The other games, I might take a look at James Madison in the first half against Oregon, and then possibly Oregon for the game, because I think Madison could probably hang in there for a half, considering the huge spread. But I think after halftime, Oregon speed and their overall is just going to wear them down. So that's the way that I would approach that game. Tulane, Ole Miss, we've already seen that game this year. I don't know what we'll see here, but I certainly could find it very difficult given the talent gap and the way that first game went. I can't find much of a reason to play Tulane. That doesn't mean I'll play Ole Miss. And I would not be shocked if Miami beats Texas A&M outright this week.
Yeah, it's Tulane is it's been a big separation, disparity between them at home and on the road, including the road game at Ole Miss. And probably the worst game was that midweek game against Texas San Antonio, where McCown completed like 31 of 33 for all kinds of yardage. Both of the quarterbacks, Joseph for Old Dominion, who has 2,600 yards and 1,000 yards rushing, and also Brown for South Florida, who's on that 3,000, 1,000 passing and rushing. Both of those guys are out for that bowl game coming up as well.
Yeah, Joseph's in the transfer portal. Brown is actually trying to contemplate whether he wants to come back. I think he's a senior, but he's got another year, or he could put himself into the draft.
Yeah, he is, but he is definitely out.
Yeah,
for that game. So, and with Golish, and I mean, how many players is he going to bring? That roster's not bad. He's going to bring some of those players to the Plains to play in Auburn, but he's out as well. Andy, what's that?
I was just going to say, I'll be good tonight. I like this Jacksonville State team all year, but I'm not quite sure they're going to be able to get by Troy. But if I were playing the game, and I haven't decided yet, I would look at Jacksonville State money line.
They've already accomplished one of the things. Rich Rod left and took some key players with him to Morgantown, and this season's been a really good one for them. Lost the conference. That's about the two teams that lost their conference championship game. They lost with when Kennesaw State scored in the last minute of the game last week.
This is Jacksonville State's third season at the FBS level, and they've been to bowl games all 3 years.
Yep, they both the teams don't even have to leave state for this one to go to Montgomery. Thank you, Andy. We appreciate it, buddy. Follow Andy.
By the way, makes this a recruiting game for these two teams.
There you go. There you go. Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. LogicalApproach.com is a great read as well to try and pick up some angles and information to help out your handicap. And Andy with us each and every Tuesday at this time. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds of Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Call Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Buzzy Hydell for the Morris Insurance Group. Outdoorsmen in the state might be having a tough time right now finding policies to fit on the properties they love. If you've got a hunting camp, a boat, or an RV that has been difficult to insure, we want you to look again. For owners or renters, the Morris Insurance Group can help you all the way to the duck camp or the fishing boat. We also have policies on coastal properties, including flood insurance to let owners protect themselves in the event of damage. For your camps, boats and trailers, four-wheelers, ATVs, and tractors, get a quote today at morris-ig.com or call 225-201-0007.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and WorkboxLLC.com.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, the chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, weekday afternoons at 3 on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
50-17, 50 to 17 at the halftime.
52-17.
52 to
35-point lead at the half.
Okay.
I
think the ladies are going to probably win that one.
Yeah, I'm actually watching this game. I'm on a 6-7 watch because it's a big young crowd. I'm sure they're hoping it falls exactly on 67 at some point.
Big part of our demographic listening.
Yeah, I can explain that, but I won't because it means nothing. But the kids love 67 right now, so.
6-7, Charlie.
I know.
Yeah.
I looked it up too. We don't have to explain how much older we are than that demographic, but I said that to a younger person over the weekend. And I was like, why? I don't know why it came up, but why would you give such credence to something that means absolutely nothing? And she came back with the best answer I have heard yet. She said, "You like Seinfeld, right?" I said, "Yeah."
That's funny.
She said, "That was a show about nothing. You've been quoting that show your entire life." And I had to shut up.
I like the episode when he's pitching the show, the pilot.
Yeah, it's
that's
about
nothing.
It's about nothing. And it's like, if you watch a show about nothing constantly, then who are you to judge?
Not a show, man.
I had to shut up.
All about wit and creativity instead of all the bells and whistles, the effects and things. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah. And it wasn't really about nothing, but they pitched it as a show about nothing. So
It puts the excitement back into the first extra point of the game,
Sure.
I mean, so it's just. But if they, if they get close to 67 points, if they get close to a 67-point lead, this is probably a record. Actually, I think this is a record, okay? You tell me another time we spent so much time that you had a line at least 70 points or higher.
I can't think of one.
Tell me another game you remember a spread being 70 points or higher.
The spread, this is a football game, so it's obviously different. When SMU was coming off probation and they played that Houston team with Andre Ware, and they were a 63-point.
It was 63?
It was 63, and Houston scored 95 points in the game. SMU was basically playing with a team of walk-ons, and they were playing the Heisman Trophy guy. That's the one I always remember as biggest spread. 72, 74, whatever it ended up being. Never have heard of that. Come back with first class, second class, no class on the other side. We're at Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Segan near Perkins.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Louisiana's big weather can mean big damage to your roof. Our team offers free inspections and guarantees your satisfaction. Call 756-8603 or visit riceandroofing.com.
Just to be on the safe side. Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
I become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And return here at Mike Anderson's, Wesley at Nicholson. Christmas gift cards available right now, all the way through Christmas Eve.
Yep, yeah, every $100 you spend, get a $20 bonus card free. So come on by and check us out. Don't forget our holiday hour special, our schedule as well. Christmas Eve, we're open for lunch only. Christmas Day, we are closed. New Year's Eve, we are open for lunch only. New Year's Day, business as usual. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch and 5 to 9 for dinner.
All right, first class. Let's talk about Dunham. State champions last Thursday, 34-17 win in the finals. And Elijah Haven accounted for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, 271, 3 touchdowns and a pick through the air, 136, 2 touchdowns on 27 carries on the ground. And Dunham wins it, doubles up Calvary 34-17. Jimmy, next year when he is, I guess, the number one player in the nation, certainly number one quarterback or whatever, maybe we're talking about the highest rated recruits ever to come out of Baton Rouge. Is he going to be at the top of the list? The absolute top of the list? I was going through names, okay, of the last 25 years, highest rated high school players to come out of Baton Rouge.
Mark Dunn, Billy Cannon Jr.
You're going back a little bit further, but yeah, those two.
Travis Minor,
Marcus Spears,
Michael Clayton.
Lyle Collins was extremely highly rated. And I'm trying to, you go back a little bit further than that, all the way back to Billy Cannon himself. Haven's going to be as highly rated, I think, as any player we've seen in the city limits of Baton Rouge. Certainly since I've been covering this.
No. It's build up was really, really good as a freshman. At that age, he's the best that I'd ever seen at that position. His build is what you would want. I mean, it's a perfect build, solid upbringing. I mean, not gonna be the guy that's gonna be, here's gonna be getting in off the field trouble and things like that. I'm curious though why his mechanics have kind of gotten to where they are, where he's releasing the ball from his armpit as opposed to fully extended. Making him, decreasing his size like that. Nope, I've never seen a guy do that. I don't know what's going on with the mechanics. In that, maybe because he's so much bigger, he's gonna bring it down. I don't know, but it's noticeable when you first see it because it's just nobody throws a ball like that at a higher level.
Of mild concern to me, is that he has spent the majority of his
level
time
of play?
playing at the lower level. I mean, he's playing at Dunham. I'm talking about against. Would I rather him have played more against 4 and 5A teams in his high school career? Yeah. But when I say mild concern, Peyton Manning played at Newman, which was AA.
Peyton and Eli.
Yeah, and Eli. And, of course, Arch as well. But although they're a little bit bigger school now than they were.
No.
No?
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. And Josh Booty played at what was then a Class A school and certainly was not over. So, like I said, mild concern about that.
Some people, because it's an easy connection, say that it's caused Manning's slower development. I disagree. And look, Dunham schedules U High every year.
Yeah.
So That's playing against Lamar Brown and those guys. So, and he's been productive. He's been comfortable the whole time. So, I would have. He got his championship. You know, they lost a heartbreaker last year. So, and they'll be heavily favored to win it again next year as well. Went for 2 in the semifinal game against Lafayette Christian. So that was a big one. So it was a
heartbreaker for Yeshua Eagles, man.
An all-timer.
Yes, an all-timer to be into the victory formation and lose the game.
Speaking of Dunham, it was a Dunham Episcopal State Final in basketball that I called that Jordan Wright, who went to Vanderbilt and then to LSU, hit the game winner with about a second to go. It was tied. They milked it down. He hits about a 17-footer to give them the lead and the win. But time left on the clock. Bench empties as they all come up. Give Episcopal 2 free throws. Kid hits the first, misses the second, and ball game is over. Same type of thing. Took your helmet off with time left on the clock. Gives you a free timeout and a personal foul. And the next thing you know, you got a punt instead of running it out. And
shank
the punt. And then the kid gets his second shot after missing the extra point with a minute to go. And he nails the 44-footer, 44-yarder, an all-timer.
Yeah.
An all-timer. I mean, maybe St. Aug Bonneville, where the guy runs back to the end zone and just throws it up on the last play.
Yeah, I remember that.
Thinking of, Dale Brown, was it John Williams that threw the ball in the backcourt?
Yeah, it was John Williams. I was thinking.
Threw the ball in the backcourt, thinking the clock stopped when you just inbound.
Against Tennessee.
Or Georgia.
Against Georgia, yeah.
Georgia.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was another clock game with Tennessee in that era as well. Dale Brown.
Yeah, John didn't know that the ball didn't.
Yes,
the clock didn't start when the ball hit the floor. That you had to touch a person, and oh yikes! And then my other first class Army Navy. The game delivered again with the fourth down to go for it. It almost always does. If you're going in there looking for a absolute slobber knocker, hard fought game that usually most of the time is not a blowout. You get the competition.
Army
they go for it on fourth down.
Army last year, it was role reversal. Army was the big favorite, 11-1, won the American Conference Championship against Tulane the week before, and big favorites, and Navy pulled off the upset. Navy went on to beat Oklahoma in a bowl game as well. This year, Army was the underdog, and they came out smoking, just could not finish it. So Navy wins again. And Blake Horvath, who had a heck of a Keenan Reynolds, who was the other, Malcolm Perry, when Navy's got a really good quarterback, and Horvath was really good. So they same old same for Navy, Charlie. Disappointing season. They won a lot of games. They didn't cover a lot of games.
Right.
They were at one time, they were 7-0, but 0-6 against the spread. They have one VMI non-board team. And I said, it's been a disappointing year for Navy. Charlie goes, Jimmy, they're undefeated. It's like they hadn't covered one time.
Right. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
That's right.
Yeah. Second class, good with a chance to be great. All right, hear me out on this. Zion Williamson came back over the weekend. Stop. Okay, I know. Zion. Came back over the weekend, first game in over 2.5 weeks. Because why? Well, his hamstring was hurt. But in this game, the Pelicans did something that they have not done with him yet. They brought him off the bench. It was the first game of his NBA career that he has not started. Pelicans won the game, 114-104 over the Bulls. Zion played 27 minutes, had 18 points and 6 rebounds. Look, it was his first game in over 2.5 weeks. He's played in 11 out of 27. I get any kind of skepticism with Zion Williamson. It's all well-earned. What if for the rest of the season the Pelicans brought him off the bench? And maybe even going forward with that. Look, the 27 minutes he played were more than all but 2 of the starters, but it's easier to control minutes, I think, coming off the bench where you can kind of plan for certain rotations to keep his minutes down. And I'm going to go back to somebody I've compared him with an awful lot, and that's Bill Walton, a guy who was an unbelievable Hall of Fame player when he played, but played about 42% of the available games when he was in the league. And now this was much later in his career. Walton was 33. But the best season he had after he got out of Portland was the 86 season with the Celtics, where he came off the bench. And he played about 20 minutes a game, and he was the sixth man of the year, and they managed to keep Bill Walton and his oft-injured, bulky feet on the court for 80 games that season, and it was the best of the 80s Celtic championship teams, that 86 team. And I'll use another Celtic as another example. Kevin McHale started less than 50% of the games in his career, another guy that's in the Hall of Fame. What if Zion became, for the rest of this season, and maybe past that, a six-man, where you could keep his minutes down in the low 20s per game? He'd be an impact guy on any second unit. We know he's good enough to start, but he can't handle the minutes to start. What if this became a permanent thing? At this point, I'm trying to figure out what the Pelicans can do with Zion Williamson that is not going to just disrupt, everything. Because they can't make him the face of the franchise. That's over. He can't stay on the floor enough. They can't trade him right now because his trade value is so far down because of the injuries. What if he...
All it takes is one.
Well, that's true. Okay, I guess I shouldn't say they can't trade him, but I think trading him right this second would be difficult. But what if he established himself as one of the best six men in the court and could stay on the floor for 22 minutes a game over 50 games?
Good luck with that.
Well, I'm trying here. Like I said, hear me out.
A little different era. Bill Walton is no longer with us. We talk about how much pain he was in when he was going through that season.
Yeah.
Okay? How much pain is Zion Williamson playing through in this era? And he's not alone.
Probably not very much.
There's not a whole lot of guys playing through pain in this era. And Walton's was because his body was breaking down, not because of his lack of commitment to his conditioning. Now, which is, it's going to be a big deal for Zion, and it's been sporadic. You don't know what you get, you just...
Look, it's a long shot. They got to talk him into it, to where he buys into this over more than just a couple game deal, and his agents are probably going to get in his ear and start screaming. But if Zion Williamson goes back into the starting lineup and averages 33 minutes a game, we know what's going to happen.
Let him have a few good games or whatever, and because his stock is declining, and sell him before convince somebody. It's one of 29.
Yeah,
it's all it takes to be a buyer. He is a tease.
Mm-hmm.
You're teased right now. My money on. Good luck with that, Charlie.
No, I know.
Okay.
I don't think his agents would buy into it. I don't think he would buy into it. But I'm trying to increase his value by keeping him on the floor, and this is the only way I know to do it.
Your approach is extremely flawed in the current landscape of organization-player relationship in the National Basketball Association.
I might appeal to his selfishness. Say, hey, look, we know you want out of here. If he does want out of there, which I think he does. Hey, if you want to get out of here, we have to trade you for something. For us to trade you for something, you have to be on the floor. This is how you get out of here. Frame it that way if you have to. Like I said,
don't think it's in his best interest to be on the floor and be productive? You don't think he has any clue of that?
All evidence to the contrary, Jimmy. I mean,
all right.
Should he know that? Yes. I mean, I would think he would understand that.
You don't think somebody's told him that?
Yeah, I'm sure he's been told that over. And I know Joe Dumars has told him that. I know C.J. McCollum told him that. I'm sure that many other people that I don't know have told him that. But this is a tangible thing where, hey, we're telling you when you can play. Remember when he came back the first time they put him on a minutes restriction and he was complaining all that time? They did it anyway.
Trade him before he has no trade value.
If right this second.
He is not the last piece of this puzzle.
No. I'm trying. I don't know that you could get a first-round pick for him right now. A protected first-round pick. I don't know if you could get that right now. And that's with the contract structured the way it is, which gives the organization some protection. I mean, maybe they could. Like you said, it only takes one. And if I were a championship, if I thought I had championship aspirations, okay, if I thought I needed one more piece. Give me a team like Denver. Okay, I'm close, but I'm not the favorite.
Well, I'm just going to save you some time.
It's not. It's not going to
I'm
happen.
sorry.
Yeah. I tried.
You know why? Because my last 2 visits to the Smoothie King to go see the Pelicans, he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because an hour and you're having a nice meal before and you go into the game, well, he's scratched, so he doesn't exist. So, yeah, I'd love to go check out some games with my son and stuff. But no, that is old as far as you're walking into the building and they give you the starting lineups and you don't have any idea who's playing for either team. Nah.
Yeah.
I'm good. Let me know when they play for the playoffs.
Gave it a shot. All right. No class. Doggone it, man. I want to root for Diego Pavia. Yeah. The underdog story is great. He goes to one of the all-time dormant programs and injects a life into it that never seen before at Vanderbilt. He's fun to watch. Even when he was beating LSU, it's like, man, the guy's having fun. This is unique. He comes from New Mexico State out of nowhere, goes to Vanderbilt, beat Alabama, beat LSU, beat Tennessee, almost beat Texas, going to New York for the Heisman. Beautiful, okay? Love the story. Probably would have voted, not probably, I would have voted for him if I'd have had a ballot, okay? You don't win. We understand why you didn't win, and you act like an ass afterwards. Kudos to him for apologizing, but didn't you know that going up there? Everybody wanted to root for you, and you showed your ass after. No class. I'm sorry. I love the way the guy plays. He could play for my team. He brings the swagger and all that stuff. What he did after the thing was no class, and he recognized it too. He apologized, but you didn't have to do that, man.
He was my first, second, and no class for this week.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good. Because he did the impossible and it was celebrated over the weekend. Second class, he's gonna get a tryout in the NFL. I think he's more of a CFL quarterback, but he's gonna get a tryout.
I think he'll be on a practice squad next year.
Yeah, he's gonna get a tryout. So we'll see. And in no class, obviously, and you would think a guy that came from that appreciates everything would be more appreciative because, damn it. You came out, it's been 3 years ago or something. One, you'd have never gotten a path to an SEC school and certainly wouldn't have got an extra year of eligibility through the courts. And this is what you show to appreciate. And by the way, how many guys did in college football that didn't get, let's just do the math, Charlie, say 136 Division I teams, 100 players on a roster piece, 13,000. I mean, that's how many guys you finished ahead of. That's how many guys you got more votes than. And, there's always going to be somebody with more money, richer, more intelligent, the whole thing, tougher. Man, you got to have a perspective where you appreciate where you are according to most. And one guy beats you out and you act like an ass?
Yeah.
What a
Hope that it's a one-off. You didn't have to do that.
It's almost as if you went
but
there and you didn't win and you finished the runner-up and, well, your brother gets on the air and calls the downtown athletic club a dump and trashes the whole pomp and circumstance of it too. Yeah.
We've seen it happen. We've seen it
like
happen.
the Mannings did when Peyton didn't get it.
They really trashed the place, did they?
He trashed the place on his show on WWL.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you meant
called it a dump.
I thought you
called
meant
trashed the place, trashed the pot
you.
process. That would be Arch's dad. Yes.
I misunderstood you. I thought you meant went and trashed a room somewhere, and you know what I mean.
That's what those golfers.
First class, second class, no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. You cooking for the holidays? Make it with Supreme Rice. How about some gumbo? Be a pretty good gumbo weather right now. Make it with Supreme Rice. Down in Southwest Louisiana since the 1930s. Part of the Climate Smart program. Future generations of Louisiana farmers, reducing methane emissions, promoting water conservation. Whether you get the long grain, the medium grain, the brown, the jasmine, or the parboiled rice, the low glycemic rice for diabetics, make it with Supreme Rice. You're going to save some money, get a great product. Pick it up at all your AG food stores, your Walmarts, your Rouses, everywhere you buy rice. Make it Supreme Rice. For more information, Go to the website at
I emptied my bag of parboiled rice last night, kind of gearing up for the, the chillier months. Do a little gumbo last night, so I got to go to Rouse's after the show today and get some more. Got to load up again. I did 2 big Ziploc bags last night.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. They're an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummings generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, 2 local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta. Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steak, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Mike Anderson's. We're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. Those hard to insure items, your big boy toys, your boats, your trailers, your motorcycles, your RVs. The Morris Insurance Group, take another look and maybe you can get a better rate. Maybe you can get some of those uninsurable or tough to insure properties that need flood insurance through the Morris Insurance Group, morris-ig.com. Also for auto, homeowners, and commercial insurance. Call 225-201-0007, 201-0007. As for Buzzy Heidel at the Morris Insurance Group, get a free quote online at morris-ig.com. Max showed me the video during the break. You'd be happy to know that LSU landed on 67. The reaction was nothing short of championship level in the PMAC. Jimmy, you told a story more than once about free fries, the old Jazz games. When we were in school, LSU did promotions for video rentals for fries, for all kinds of stuff. It was rally fries, I think, one year.
Chicken, walk-ons, yeah,
and
different little promotions.
You had to get to 100 points. My freshman year was you had to get to 100 points, and that was the Chris Jackson, Shaquille O'Neal team. So they got to 100 more than a few times, and most of these were obviously blowouts. So you end up with a 98-65 game, and the student section is just, dying for $1 off of, $1 worth of free fries or $2 worth of free fries. That's the only thing I can equate this to, this reaction.
Somebody sent us a video, and Kendall Gill, former NBA player for a long time, and he was on those great Illinois teams.
Yeah.
And they asked him the toughest guard he ever had, and Michael Jordan was number 2.
That caught my attention also.
And he said, I could slide with MJ. I mean, I couldn't slide with Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. So when they played down here in the Assembly Center, he said, Lou Henson, you got him. And so, yep.
And that was a great Illinois team. Is that the one with all of every starter was 6'6"?
Most of
Kendall Gill,
Battle,
Liberty,
Armand Gilliam, Marcus Liberty, Kendall Gill. Yeah. There was that. It was that team that beat LSU, drilled them, and a very good LSU team.
Yeah.
Drilled them, and it took one guy to beat them by himself. Well, Glenn Rice just got hot. They beat him in the semifinal. They were favored by like 8 or 9 points in that game, and would have been favored by the same amount over Seton Hall in the final. So a great team, one of the better teams not to ever win it. But he said, he says the crowd was cheering in Baton Rouge, and I didn't even know. He says he got shot off before I could even. I'd love to go watch him in warm-ups. He was worth. Maravich was in the league at that time. It was a little bit different. I didn't get to see him warm up, but I would go and watch Chris Jackson warm up early.
Because his unrelenting desire to be perfect, was what made him so great. And it, again, part of it was just his makeup. He had to make a certain amount of shots. He had to get it perfect every time before he was going to move on. And he had what remains one of, if not the quickest release I've ever seen.
He was Steph Curry before Curry.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have 6'6" size like a Michael Jordan that he could always get off his shot, and Jordan certainly improved his shot, but, Curry, was taller than Chris Jackson, but still by NBA standards is pretty short, and he's got to be so quick with his release. He's got to create a little separation. He's got to work on his quickness, and that's one thing that a couple of scouts would tell me the first thing they look for. I said, "What do you look for? What do you look for? What do you look for?" Quickness. We can measure everything else, but the quickness and how quick can, Allen Iverson was so quick, because he was little and had to different type of player. He would attack the rim a lot more than Jackson, but man, he's just Steph Curry before he's Steph Curry. And keep in mind, he didn't have this 3-point line all coming up, in middle school, junior high, high school, to try and fine tune. Once we had that generation come up, they were way more proficient shooting the line. That's why all the lines have had to move back a little bit. Those guys had to do it in the middle of their development, which is a lot tougher.
His freshman season was the year after or 2 years after the three-point line came in. The three-point line was 87, and his freshman year was 88. Yeah. Yeah, no, 88, 89. Okay, so his second year that the three-point line was in.
He's junior in high
play.
school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's.
And you could tell when they would go through any kind of offensive, little mini slump, 2-3 possessions without one. He was getting a shot up the next time, and more often than not, he was going to make it.
And it's ironic that that's how when they had maybe the best shooter, they did have the best shooter in the game. It was a three-point specialist team that beat the best roster, not the best team, the best roster that LSU ever had. And it was a three-point specialist team, 3D.
Georgia Tech
in Knoxville, because that team was probably going to the Final Four.
If they'd have gotten past Georgia Tech,
that team would have beaten Michigan State in the Superdome. That team would have beaten Minnesota in a regional final in the Superdome. And that's who Georgia Tech had to beat in those two games.
You know what I felt about that team? That if the season would have been 2 weeks longer, if they'd have had 2 more weeks up at the front, because they were just starting to gel.
Oh, yes.
They were just starting to gel. 2 more weeks, and I think they'd have been hella beat.
I mean, Brian Oliver, Dennis Scott, and Kenny Anderson were just too much. And they were a pretty good underdog to Michigan State. Michigan State was Steve Smith's team, that they were the number 1 seed in the regional, but LSU wasn't losing in that building. They were so close. And keep in mind, that was the same tournament, was one of the most memorable routes in the history, the most significant routes in the history of the NCAA tournament. And that's when Grandmama and Stacey Augmon and UNLV destroyed the Duke team right in the middle of their 4 straight Final Fours with Leitner, Hurley, and Grant Hill. I mean, destroyed them by 35. At half, Georgia Tech got the lead against UNLV.
I'd forgotten that. Wow. Yeah, because
Georgia Tech had the lead. That was in Denver.
I saw that Vegas team play in person
by
in
6
in the Assembly Center, and they were.
What year was that, Charlie?
It was in 1990.
Yep.
1990. LSU played them in the Assembly Center the day of the Super Bowl, the day the Elway, Montana Super Bowl down in New Orleans. LSU played them and beat them. Vegas was playing without Stacey Augmon that day, which was a big deal. But they were still way fun to watch, man. That was good times, man. That was a fun college basketball season, even though LSU came up a little bit short.
What year you said?
89, 90.
Oh, 90. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course Duke came back and beat them the next 2 years. They beat Vegas in 91, and then they won it again in 92. And then they lost in 93 to Jason Kidd.
UNLV beat them 90-81 at halftime. Georgia Tech led by 7, 53-46.
That game I had forgotten. It's
all right, Charlie.
But you here to pick up my slack sometime, man? Come on.
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine did, call. Don't make the mistake that I did originally, and that is went with the original construction of my home and just went with the standard, whatever the builder was using. I made a mistake. You got to get the Relief Windows from the wood windows. They're made with the RLS wood, gelled wood frame windows, come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rot and termites, providing years of beauty and minimal maintenance. What it does is they last in these extreme South Louisiana weather conditions, the heat, the humidity, the snow, just the rain, just so much, man. It's tough on regular windows. They have to be treated like the wood windows from Relief Windows. Give them a call at 288-8138, 288-8138. They last, they look good, they're functional, they're easy to deal with. Give my friends at Relief Windows a call.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway to Highway 74 in Gonzales.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch. First of the playoff games Friday night is Alabama and Oklahoma. Actually going to have reasonable weather for this game. December in Oklahoma, especially at night, might have been frigid. Clear skies, 51 degrees
That's not
on
bad.
Friday night. For December in Oklahoma. Of course, as soon as won this game in Tuscaloosa, Jimmy, I know we're going to have all of our guys on for the rest of the week. Going to pick this game, but before we get all of that, your early leans on this game based on what you saw the first time.
Oh, not a whole lot of points. Jam Miller, his injuries have been a part of Alabama's struggles in the running game, and part of it is that they don't have the physical element of their offensive line that they did when Nick Saban was there. There's some things that DeBoer, including his 2-point conversions, a fourth down success, that he does better than Saban, but they're not. The physicality of their teams, both sides of the line of scrimmage are not what they once were. But Oklahoma has really, really struggled on offense, but somehow they seem to connect on these big plays. They didn't have those plays against Alabama. It was a defensive score. It was the field goals from the guy who was, did he not win Groza, huh? They gave it to the kid from Hawaii. Yeah. So I was surprised because the kid from Hawaii didn't have any outside of 50, and this guy was 7 for 7.
Yeah, but he only missed one the whole year.
Both of them missed one.
Oh, well, then yeah.
Yeah, the Hawaii guy missed one the last game.
Right.
Last game, it was under 40, but the kid from Oklahoma missed his first of the year, and that was it. So they were perfect on extra points. But anyway, but they're going to be on Norman, and man, Venables, they're just well coached on defense. They're in position. The yards are hard. You have to execute at a high level to move the football on them. They don't miss tackles. They wrap up properly. And so their defense and their special teams, and when you got a kicker like this, you can afford to play these field position games because you can score. Because the kicking, he's so much better than what most teams have as a kicker. And he was the difference when they hung around in Tuscaloosa, and he kicks the field goal in the fourth quarter for the last points to turn a deficit into a short win. So I think Alabama is the advantage. I think they're a better team. They should have won the first time, but now you got to play at their place, and I expect a very, very tight game again.
John Mateer, after he came back from the injury, I thought was really beat up in the first few games back. It looked to me like starting with the Alabama game and ramping up through, they played Missouri and then they played LSU, that he was getting healthier, that he looked a lot more like the Mateer from September than he did from the middle of the season when he was beat up.
What games?
The last 2 games of the season, Missouri and LSU.
You did?
I thought he
didn't do much against LSU. He hit the long passes.
He threw for
318
for
most
yards.
of it.
But I didn't feel. Now he threw the interceptions.
Missouri game too, Charlie hit the long pass. The first 15 plays of 15 yards.
But he also had 18 carries against Missouri. I thought he looked healthier, and I'm wondering what this break might do for him. And is he going to look more like the Mateer we saw in September than the one we saw later in the season, who I thought got, like I said, beat up a little bit because the hits started to pile up on him. I thought.
He had to have surgery.
Yeah, so
he had the surgery in his hand, and so he was rushed back against Texas. He had no business playing in that one. I get that one, but he never got better as a passer. Now, it was no level of consistency. It was such a strange deal. They really struggled on offense, and all of a sudden, it's like every game, Ole Miss, he had long touchdown plays. Tennessee, Missouri, LSU. It's just like, how does this happen? They struggle. They got a lot of 3-and-outs in that offense this year, and then they pop these 70-yard touchdowns almost every game, and they did it twice against LSU to bail them out in that one.
They hit an 87-yarder against Missouri, 76-yarder against Ole Miss, 58-yarder against LSU. So you're right.
What was the other one against LSU? Didn't they have 2?
58 was the long. There was another one that was probably 40 or something. I wonder what he's going to look like in this game, because in the first game, he was pretty limited. He threw for 138 yards in that game. He ran for 23. He did have a touchdown on the ground. But I think that there's a chance he's going to be a lot.
That was pretty late in the season. That was right before LSU.
That's right.
Or Missouri.
In the middle of November. So given a month and given 2 full weeks off, I wonder if he may more resemble a healthy quarterback. I didn't think it all the times in the middle of the season that he was. If they win in Tuscaloosa, He throws for 138 and he runs for 23. So we're not talking about a big offensive performance here, and they still won.
Well, they're +3 in the turnover margin. I mean,
that was the whole.
And one was a 70-yard pick six. So
that was the whole.
Now, as far as Jan Miller is concerned, he's got concussions and like a broken collarbone. So he's not hitting the holes like he did earlier in the season. How much can he possibly come back? I don't know. But the thing is, Simpson's got to tighten it up. He has played better games. And is he the guy that you have enough confidence to go for it instead of kicking a chip shot field goal?
Yeah.
To give your team the lead with 2 minutes to go in the game, or you trust him a straight drop back on 4th and 2 to throw throw a really nice throw to give you the win at Auburn. Just don't know, but he's got to really. He went for a long stretch without throwing any interceptions. And then he kind of got those are going to beat you in this game.
There's some belief that he's been dealing with some sort of back injury on the back half of the season. Maybe that's some of the slide.
I don't really see that. He's still running running plays. If they're doing that, they're still he had a big run against Auburn in the Iron Bowl. So if they're doing that, and that was by design. If they're doing that, I mean,
if he's got a sore back, he's had 2 weeks to kind of rest that as well. He threw for 326 in the first game against Oklahoma, and they still lost, like you said, because of the
I'll
three
tell
turnovers.
you what, anybody gets hit like he did in the SEC championship game is going to have a sore bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. It's one less
he
week
got
for him.
rocked,
No, he got
man.
hit.
I mean, he was getting hit and hit and hit and hit. I mean, that's as much of a beating as I've seen by a college quarterback in a lot of games, man.
Alabama averaged 2.5 yards a carry in that game. Oklahoma averaged 2.5 yards a carry in that game. One of these quarterbacks gonna have to throw the football.
Yeah,
and make a play here and there, lest you get a special teams score, a defensive score, something like that.
Even with Mateer and they beat Michigan, he wasn't. It looked like he had that moxie, it looked like he had that feel, but he wasn't putting up crazy numbers. Throwing the ball. He looked like he's more comfortable running the ball, but it just how would his season have gone? How would his development have gone over the course of the season if he didn't have that injury? And there's no doubt how much he was returned too soon. That was ugly against Texas. I think he threw 3 interceptions in that game, but how much rushing him back affected his recovery?
Given what I saw in the games after,
it sure lingered, huh?
Yes, I thought that it did.
Yes, Charlie.
I like Alabama in the game, which
tight.
Does not make me happy. That doesn't mean I have to root for them, but I think that they will probably win the game.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see with the break. Don't forget over here our holiday hours at Mike Anderson's. Christmas Eve, we are open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, but closed for dinner. Christmas Day, we are closed all day to give our staff to spend time with their families. New Year's Eve, we're open lunch only. So Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, open for lunch only. And then on New Year's Day, we're open normal lunch 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., dinner from 5 to 9 p.m. Of course, on the weekends, we're open all the way through lunch and dinner. You got some family coming in from out of town. They want some good South Louisiana cuisine. You take them over here to Mike Anderson's. A wide range of things to order, and always a hit for whoever we bring around. Get a little taste of crawfish, the crawfish etouffee and seafood gumbo, and the char-grilled oysters. Oysters on the half shell are beautiful this time of season, firm and salty. So you got some family in town this holiday season, bring them over here to Mike Anderson's.
Live at Mike Anderson's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if you're retired?
Hold, please.
Okay.
Jordan, you called it. Win streak's on, baby. They're coming.
Well, we'll see. They got the Rockets coming up.
Yeah.
So, if they beat the Rockets, though, you got me.
Yeah.
All the way back in. They beat the Rockets. We'll see, though.
All right, Jordan, whenever you're ready. It's Iverstein.
It's rolling.
Okay, all right. Yep. All right, whenever you're ready.
Oh, it's rolling.
This is Charles Hannegrove. Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch from Iverstein Butcher on Perkins near Essen. Wes Reynolds joins us along with professional sports handicapper Randy McKay and Scott Rabelais from The Advocate. Live at Lunch from Iverstein, 11 a.m. Wednesday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today, and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Sound Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Sound Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here at Mike Anderson's. Again, get your gift cards here with a $20 bonus for every 100 here at Mike Anderson's, Wesley at Nicholson. So come on by here for lunch right here at the Oyster Bar. Get some good raw oysters here when we finish out. Premier top matchup in college basketball tonight. Louisville going to Thompson-Boling, take on Tennessee tonight.
Tennessee had a great win out in Las Vegas against Houston, avenged getting blown out in the regional final last year. You know, Tennessee's still looking for that first Final Four ever in the history of their program. So Bruce Pearl and Barnes have both been to regional finals, but couldn't get over that hump. But man, then they slid, Charlie, and were beaten by Kansas without their best player out in Las Vegas, and then they lost in the, I think it was in the ACC Challenge too, but they just had, they've gotten tripped up a few times, and I think they've got some really nice guards that can do a lot more than what Ziegler could last year. They got a lottery pick maybe one of the freshmen, one of those top freshmen. We talk about how
Makeup,
deep
yeah.
that freshman class is, but they're just kind of finding some things right now.
Lost at Syracuse. That was the big upset.
Yeah, lost it.
Louisville comes in at 9-1. They've got their only loss was to Arkansas, and they have wins over what was at the time a ranked Kentucky team, and also Indiana. The top wins on their schedule. They're coming off of a 26-point thumping of Penny Hardaway and Memphis in their last
Big,
their
almost
last
like
outing.
19-point favorites in that game.
There you
So
go.
yeah, Penny's down, man.
College
His
football
worst team since he's been there.
Veterans Salute to Veterans Bowl, 8 o'clock tonight. It's a little bit of a late start in Montgomery for Troy and Jacksonville State. If you want your football fix today, let's get the bowl games pretty much every night moving forward, save for some Sundays.
Yeah, it's the Jacksonville State tonight. Is that right?
And Troy.
Salute to veterans.
Salute to veterans.
Troy and Jacksonville State. Both of these teams lost their conference championship game in the Sun Belt in Cusah, but they stay in state in Montgomery. Jacksonville State lost to Kennesaw State in the last minute. But I thought Troy was pretty impressive in James Madison. They hung around a lot more in that one on the road. So we'll have to see.
Thanks to the folks here at Mike Anderson. Tomorrow we're at Iverstein Butcher. From all of us here and Jordan back in the studio. Have a great day, everybody, and stay tuned for Hunt on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Okay, thank you.
Shop in Baton Rouge.